All right, so today I have Jose Esquilin with me, and we're going to talk about, the results he's seen after joining the Friendly Bear University. So Jose comes from a background in architecture, just like me. So it's been a pleasure to get connected with him. And actually, he did his master's at the University of Florida. I did my bachelor's at the University of Florida architecture. So he did his master's of architecture, University of Florida. So we know a lot of the same people, and it's really fun to talk about design and architecture outside of trading. But yeah, today we're going to talk about Jose's experience before he joined the Friendly Bear University, and then now as a Friendly Bear University in it. And also, he gives videos on in the Friendly Bear Universities on fundamentals. So for me, it's really fun to speak with Jose on a daily basis about fundamentals and understanding the why behind the stocks because he has that architecture mindset. And it for me, it's a big part of my trading and the way I see trading, and because I'm using my creativity and my imagination to figure out the whys and connect the dots together and piece the puzzle together. And it's just so it's really advantageous. And with trading, you got to take whatever strengths you have and apply it. Take advantage of the strengths you have coming into trading. For me, it's architecture. For Jose, it's architecture. But for you, what is it? So with that being said, Jose, so yeah, let's get a little background on yourself, and if you can say your experience before you joined the university, Friendly Bear University, and after Friendly Bear University, or during.
Yeah, well, hello everyone. Uh, First of all, I remember seeing one of your videos. I mean, this is back when I started. I believe it was the end of 2019 or right there, beginning of 2020. I don't know. I found you, and it was curious because I remember. I believe you were in Puerto Rico, so I'm like, oh, so this guy, this is a trader from Puerto Rico. Maybe I could learn from him. And at the moment I was starting, I was getting a lot of information. At the time, I was under another course, learnings and all that, and it was curious to me that okay, so there are people in Puerto Rico trading, which for me was strange. Don't ask me why. I came here to the United States in 2006, but then I saw one of your blogs. You were interviewing people and talking about things, and I'm like, okay, so David is he's Puerto Rican or not? I'm trying to figure it out, right? And at the time, because I was looking for is that moment where you don't know who you are in trading, right? You're starting, you're getting information left and right. You're trying to figure out who you are, what do you like, and all that. So I remember seeing a couple of videos, then I disconnect. And then one day, I think 2 years ago or a year and a half, I start following you on Twitter. And I recall looking through your tweets and seeing the words like, oh, since the inception or since something, this is how things are progressing now. And I'm like, okay, so because I was struggling in terms of like everyone, right? Everyone starts and probably you find your edge for a while, then you start losing, then you start looking for other stuff. At one time I was a systematic trader. I cannot work with systematic trader even if I try because it's just I need to understand what's happening, right? So it's really important the way you're describing that we need to understand the why. When I started looking at your posting, I'm like, okay, so what is it that he's doing that I'm still struggling in terms of, yes, I have a good streak of winnings, but there's one that takes like 70% of that. I'm like, oh my gosh, all that effort, it goes into one or two trades. So it was super frustrating for me. And then I start following you, start looking, okay, so he's talking about rules. Let me see what about these rules and this and that. And that's how I found you. That's how I got involved. And to me, it was a yes, I was already profitable, but it was like a big change in terms of what if I put in place some additional rules that protects me even better, even more, because you still have, the ones in trading that really mess you up is yourself. There's nobody else. is yourself. You are the one who's breaking the rules. You are the one that are not doing what you said that you're gonna do. Are the one you're the one that is doing things that take out your edge, right? So to me, finding you in terms of, okay, this is maybe what I need: more discipline, more rules, and that will help me to cement that the the whatever I have so far. And that's how I got into the Friendly Bear community.
Awesome. And yeah, going back to the part of Puerto Rico. So, I mean, I'm from Miami and I'm Cuban. My mom's Cuban, so I'm Cuban. Grew up in around Cubans and Puerto Ricans. So yeah, it throws a lot of people off because I've had a few Puerto Ricans approach me. It's like, is he Puerto Rican? You know, is he Boricua? You know, but I lived in Puerto Rico almost 2 years. It's a beautiful place. I love Puerto Rico. But yeah, it's interesting. You said you went to the systematic side, and it's important for everyone to learn when you're starting out to try different things and figure it out. It's like in architecture school, we do you study the Frank Lloyd Wright, and then you study all types of different things. You do the drawing by hand, you do the models by hand, you do the sculptures, but then now eventually you do it all on the computer, so you earn the
Exactly.
right,
Who are
it's like
you?
it's the rite of passage and you're learning. And
Yes.
I saw an interview the other day of Jeff Bezos, and Jeff Bezos actually studied physics. He was going to be a physicist or something, and he was in Princeton, and him and his roommate were up all night doing this differential equation. And differential equation is like the highest level math, I think.
Mhm.
I don't even know. It's like the
Yeah.
highest level. It's crazy. And then they said, "Oh, we know this guy down the hall. I forgot his name, some weird name." And then they went to him, and the guy looked at the problem and said, cosine. And then they're like, how did he decide? How did he know that? We were at this problem for many hours. And then the guy said, "Oh, let me explain it." He went to the chalkboard and wrote down like 10 minutes of algebra and came
Mhm.
out to the cosine result. And then Jeff Bezos, he said that was a pivotal moment in his career where he realized right there he will never be a top level physicist. Even though he's at Princeton, and he said, you know what, I want to I want to do something where I'm going to be the best, like of my abilities. So he
Yes.
realized even though he was doing everything at the highest level he could with physics. It just wasn't for him because another guy could just read it and like cosine just like that. So with trading, that's how like you decide, okay, for me, I decided I tried systematic. You tried systematic. I have stuff in the Friendly Bear University that basics systematic stuff where you can experiment, you can come up with your things. But like I knew after a certain point, I was like, I'm never gonna be a top level systematic
Yeah.
trader. However, what really you know, my eyes get wide open and I have passion and drive for finding the clues, the puzzle, like you mentioned, inception and like digging in, and that drives me. And that I knew, okay, I can go far with this. Now,
Yeah.
systematic, like I can, like you said, you were profitable. You can get profitable like that, but like to go to the best of your abilities, to reach your potential, like you got to understand your strengths and like yeah, it's important. And that was yeah, it's a realization. It's just like with architecture.
Same thing.
I knew when I was in graduate school at UCLA architecture grad school, I did bachelor's at Florida. I knew right away the parametricism, parametrics with architecture with
Yeah.
the rule sets and the algorithms. The same way with algorithms with trading, they have algorithms with architecture.
Yeah.
And I was like, this doesn't speak to me. But I like building with my hands. I like drawing. I like speaking about architecture and imagining. So I was like, so architects like Frank Gehry or like for example Tom Main, he likes a certain form, like you gravitate and you understand and
Yeah.
you can go deep into it, and that's how you take advantage of. So that's the beauty about the markets too. You can it's like the world is your oyster, so you just yeah, I love it, man. So Jose, now, going back to your career with architecture, which you still are practicing,
Yes.
of course, and how did you balance architecture with learning? And because you're one of the rare few that actually, because I understand this field very well, and I thought I was like the lone wolf. Um, so I'm sure you had like same experience. So like, how
Yeah.
did you balance learning and taking it seriously, and like, how did you apply like the profession, the sophistication of architecture, and apply that to trading? Because a lot of people approach trading as like gambling and a hobby, you know, and how did you approach that? And like how did you approach that financially? Like with you know, yeah, so all that.
Yeah, it's interesting because again, when you start trading, in my case, it was funny because I think I did like 5 trades in one of these app, Robinhood, and I'm like, oh, I got this. I'm a trader. I know how to make money, and I'm not lying. I was like that naive, right? I said, I got this. I made $100. I can make millions in no time. So then becomes the realization of like, no, you don't know anything, and this is not going to happen like that, right? And then you pay for you have to pay for education the same way we pay for our I still have debts architecture, right? Big debts, so you have to pay for your education. But to me, our discipline, our architecture teach us that we have to work not hard, we have to work double hard. We have to burn ourselves to be the best. We have to not sleep in order to get an idea with fundamentals background, right? Psychology of the client, psychology of the professor. You have to come up with an idea, and you are competing against 20, against 30, I don't know, and you want to be the best. If not the best, at least you want to be on the top tier, right? So I think it's something that I'm very I consider myself very disciplined. I go to the gym since forever, and I as a lone wolf. I don't need friends to help me. I don't need coach. I don't need spotters. I don't need anything. I go to the gym, and to me, it's like a daily basis. I go to the gym. I go to school. I study. So when I started with trading, I took it the same way as a when I realized that it wasn't a game, because you start like tinkling with it, and like, okay, I think I got it, but then okay, I fell here, but I think I got it. But then you realize, wait, this is money that you put in on the line. Is my sweat money. I don't come from rich people, and bless them, whoever is rich, but I have to work hard to whenever I am right now. And it's even more difficult because you have a relation with money, which is like, I lost 5,000, and with that I could have pay something. I could have bought a car. I could have go on vacation. I don't know, whatever. And that attachment to the money, it was super hard for me to understand that you cannot be attached to the money in that aspect. Money is just a tool. But in the same way, you have to put the effort. You have to put the hours. You have to. I don't know if it's us, David, but because other people I've seen other people's in 6 months they got it. They are gifted. Good for them. For me to be the best in architecture, I have to grind. I have to study. I have to not sleep. The same way I treat in trading, and it's more difficult because you're not coming from a place financially free, and then you have to work full time. Plus, you have to study. Plus, sometimes you have family, you have kids, you have a wife, right? So all that comes into the operation, and you have to do it if you want this. So it's a never ending grinding, it's a never ending effort, and it, if you don't take it seriously, and if you don't want it, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. You have to put the time. I hear you every time. Hey, I put 10,000 hours because I wanted. Okay, yes, it's going to require that for most of the people. And if you are not used to, we are maybe used to some of that based on our background in architecture. Uh, you can hear the stories. But someone that it doesn't have that discipline, it's going to be super hard. So yes, that's what it takes everything from you in terms of effort, but you have to balance, right? You still have to have time for you. You still have to have time for your family, time for your stuff. So I try to divide myself, and it's with me is even more funny because I have family, I have trading, I have my job that I still love in architecture. I have my company. I'm a GC license. I'm a general contractor, licensed general contractor in Florida. So I have even constructions going on. So I'm doing like, don't ask me how, but I'm doing a lot of stuff at the same time. And if you understand yourself and where you at the moment, and you organize yourself after all the background, all the grinding, then you're gonna find yourself in a place that you can handle all that. So for me, I trade in the morning, probably in the afternoon, after market if I see something, but like 4 hours of trading in the morning and that's it. The rest of the day I'm doing 20 stuff, but that's what is required.
Yeah, awesome. And I was gonna ask you too, okay, so did you so people that come into trading, they think they can just quit what they're doing and just do trading. So but you decided I think early on you're not, you're gonna work and learn
Yeah.
and so like how did you manage all that? Like so like keeping all your jobs, your general contractor, your architect,
It,
uh,
it,
and then
it,
also learning trading.
it was a hard realization because at the beginning, especially going with like I pay for that freedom challenge, and my mindset is like, oh, okay, so I pay for this in a year, I'm already a millionaire. I'm gonna drop everything and I'm gonna be set up. I don't need anything else. But then it came to the realization that you are not, you are yourself, and you had to find who you are. And it I realized, okay, I cannot leave my job, even with the savings that I had. I have a family, I have kids, right? So I cannot leave my job and be irresponsible. Like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna have it in trading. Yes, I was profitable, but at one point I lose everything. Not in one trade, but like little by little. It's like what is happening, right? And then you understand, like, for me, I have to be mentally in a safe place. I cannot think like I'm depending on trading. And to me, it's gonna happen to everyone. If you are starting on trading and suddenly you are telling yourself, "Oh, I'm gonna quit everything. I'm gonna," well, if you have the means and and the help and support from, I don't know, from your family or whoever, fine, do it. But if you don't force it. It will come, right? It will get there, but you cannot go crazy and just leave your job and go full-time trading. It's not going to happen for most of us, at least 2 3 years, 4 years, when you start being profitable. And I realized that right there after my first year. It's like, okay, I was thinking about quitting, blah, blah. Even my wife was, she is even crazier than me because he's like, oh no, quit, don't worry, I'll help you. I'm like, I'm not gonna do that, woman. So it's that emotion, right? Is that the dreams are in, and with me, there was a couple of other peers that started with me in trading. I remember we still communicating, and the frustration is like, oh, I thought I'm going to be millionaire in a year. I thought or not millionaire, but at least I'm going to be profitable. I'm still struggling and all that. You realize, like, no, you have to take this is, and we hear this every time. This is not short term. This is a long term activity, and you have to take it seriously. Now, you could ask, "Oh, Jose, but why are you still doing another job?" Well, in my case, I just love what I'm doing. I'm designing houses like the one you see in the background. Um, that's something I study for that. So why not keep doing it if I'm not trading all day, right? So that's one side. General contractor, well, guess what? I have now the money from trading. I can use it to fund my own. developments in terms of residential. I bought the lot, I developed the thing that I designed myself, and I sell it. So it's another company, another stream of income. But yeah, going back to your question, David, I would not advise anyone to drop everything the first year and go about trading right away, because it's gonna be a rude wake up.
Yeah, and to start to wrap it up, okay, so when you joined the Friendly Bear University and you started to see the way I spoke about things, and did it click for you? Okay, I need to go deeper in the fundamentals, and how did that work for you as far as improving your stress levels for trading and managing your life, like you said, because now the world is clearer for you for trading. It's you have more rules in place. It's just like it's how did that increase your profitability or just make things easier for you?
Yeah. So we go through different stages and phases. And I got my, like we talked about, my systematic phases, which I admire whoever is a systematic trader, because you have to have, I mean, to withstand 100% squeeze and still in there, and because you trust your data and all that, and you're still profitable at the end of the day, kudos. I cannot go blind into a trade. It got to a moment that I was like, something is happening here. Somebody is behind this. I need to know what is it. So that that curiosity for the why was always there. And when I start finding about fundamentals, like, oh, wait a second. So what I heard, oh, do they have warrants? So, okay, what are warrants? What is he talking about? Oh no, because if they have warrants, that blah blah. And I'm like, okay, so I started researching about warrants, and then I started researching about S1. I started researching about dilution, and when I realized, I said, okay, wait, so there is a really a why behind all this crap. All this move that I don't understand is because there's something behind. And to me, that was the realization. It's like, okay, if this is the why, I will understand why it's happening. And and that's how I got interested about fundamental. I start studying everything. Yeah, I remember following people that were talking about in YouTube. We're talking about just pure fundamentals, S1s, warrants, and dilution, and companies using examples. And I was like, everyone was sleeping. I was still listening to videos about fundamentals. I read books. I read a bunch of like three books in as far as dilution. I read Trading the Zone with this guy. There's so much information about dilution, and even the first year when I realized all that, I was like, okay, so I know the why. No, you still don't know the why. It's more deeper than that, and that's how I found Friendly Bird University to help me even more, because now I am aligned with somebody that understand my language and understand my background and understand that we are aligned looking for the same thing. It's like, oh, so there is an agenda, there's a cycle here that they do this, goes down, then rinse and repeat. Okay, so we all could be together thinking about the same thing and have back and forth inputs of what's happening. And not because you have dilution, because then it comes the first stage of when you know dilution, it's like everything with dilution, let's go in, let's short it. Oh no, you're gonna lose. Forget it. You're gonna lose your money. So again, it's deeper than that. And with Friendly Bear University, our community, we always bouncing back ideas, bouncing back information, bouncing back stuff that really help us to give us more conviction about what's happening. And sometimes even having dilution, we shouldn't touch it. We have to wait. So there is the dilution part, fundamental part, there's the technical part, and there's the whole art, because there's an art in all that, right? Where you got in, where you get out. So at this point, I have a mix of, yes, I still use a little bit of systematic in terms of when I get out, maybe. I keep using my indicators, but to enter into a trade, that's more screen time, that's more And then to enter and pick a trade is fundamentally basis in terms of dilution. So I recommend Friendly Verse to anyone who really want to understand and take it trading seriously to another level. Because when you see the agenda behind, it's like the Matrix. Right now, you're not seeing what is in front of you. You're seeing the code. You're seeing what is behind, and that gives you peace and less stress because you're here. Okay, do your stuff. I'm gonna wait for you, and then I enter.
Beautiful. And finally, Jose, okay, so what would you tell someone who's where you were back, who's where you were back then, maybe struggling with consistency, blowing accounts, and they're thinking about joining Friendly Bear University?
Well, in Friendly Bear University, you're not gonna we are not gonna tell you you're gonna get rich tomorrow. That's the first thing that we are not gonna tell you. We are not gonna tell you uh, do this and do that. We're gonna tell you you need to work hard, you need to learn, you need to practice, you need to have screen time. You cannot do this without screen time, man. It's just hard. It's like music. You have to practice. It's like architecture. You want to be the best designer. How are you going to design a house if you never tried to design your own house or a couple houses, right? It's like how you become a designer of facades, how you know what is modern, what is classic, what is industrial, what is a mix. The only way you know that is your practice and you do it yourself. The same with trading and thinking about it in terms of somebody that comes new to a Friendly Bird University. What you're gonna find is a lot of people sink in the same mindset in terms of we know there's a fundamental reason for the things that are happening in the market, and we have to adapt and react accordingly. And you're going to learn how to grab information from different sources that are going to help you to have conviction and when to get into a trade. You are not gonna get here, and we are not gonna spoon feed you in terms of, oh, go into a trade. We are not doing that. We are not telling anyone I'm in a trade. I'm entering here. I'm getting out here. That's not our culture. Our culture is more of telling you why you need to understand what are the rules and how and why you are getting into a trade. This is money. This is serious. It's not a joke. This is not gambling. So that's what you're going to find in our community. And I'm really happy with everyone. I mean, it's really good. We are disciplined. The ones that are not disciplined, sadly, they whoever it doesn't fall the pad, it needs to get out. But most of us stay there and we are grinding with the same rules.
Absolutely. And yeah, I love the culture that we're developing. And, it's just a culture of reciprocating value and adding value. And just like you add value with a lot of the videos from your learnings of your and your success with the fundamentals and aha moments that you share with videos, well organized videos and well explained videos. So, and we're constantly adding value and in that regard. So yeah, it's beautiful. Anyways, Jose, thank you very much for sharing all that. And yeah, we'll talk soon.
Of course. Thank you, David.
All right.